securing our border, talking to the men and women that are so constantly getting run down by the mainstream media and the left, of course.
I think abolish ICE is a call to action on several levels. One is the literal interpretation of abolishing ICE, which I support.
Starting by replacing ICE with something that reflects our morality.
Re-examine ICE and its role and the way that it is being administered and the work it is doing, and we need to probably think about starting from scratch.
You know, because this is all they do, right? This is all they do. All they want to do every single day and night is fight. You know, they should try out for the WWE, I guess, at this rate. Tonight, the left, led by Kamala Harris, is out there introducing a resolution to condemn Stephen Miller. He's the chief architect of the president's immigration plan. Harris claims Stephen Miller is a racist, writing, and I quote, "Stephen Miller is the hateful force behind the cruel and xenophobic policies that have defined the Trump administration. His white supremacist, anti-immigration ideology has no place in our country, let alone the White House." I see. So when it's a Trump-sponsored idea, the idea of a wall, the idea of securing our border, somehow it's racist. But when it's actually the Democrats' idea, it's good policy, right? Because let's be clear, until now, this was all the Democrats' idea. Illegal immigration, they said back then, was very wrong, remember?
It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration laws.
We simply cannot allow people to pour into the United States undetected, undocumented, unchecked.
We do not want to do anything to encourage more illegal immigration.
Mexico must do its share, because the day when America could be the welfare system for Mexico is gone.
We need more resources at the border, and that includes a fence. What we have now, we have people waiting to come in legally. We have people coming in illegally. That's not right. We need to get order at the border.
Yeah. I mean, you guys actually made sense then. He's talking your language. It's just that it's him. Trump, that is. So you hate him so much, you're willing to sacrifice America in the process. Meanwhile, the man Senator Kamala Harris is out there targeting, despicably so, by the way. I mean, because it's like the lowest of the low when you say stuff like this. When she says he's a racist, Stephen Miller says, you know what? She's got it all wrong. Watch. They say you are a white nationalist. Are you?
Not only am I not anything of the sort, but I find the accusation to be profoundly offensive and completely outrageous. To say to a Jewish person that you hold the very ideology that has persecuted your own family is so profoundly inappropriate.
Yeah. You know, wouldn't it be nice if the Democrats could actually legislate for a change? I mean, stop attacking and actually do something? That's why they were sent there, to do something good for society, to work with the other side of the aisle to get things done. You know, if they actually tried, they could probably get meaningful immigration reform done, but they're not willing to try because all they want to do is fight. Joining me right now is Women for Trump National Co-Chair Gina Loudon. Gina, good to see you. Right? I mean, it's like
Great
really and truly, they should get a spot at the WWE.
Yeah, they really should. But the problem is that every time they make a move on this president, he uses their own move against them, almost in a jiu-jitsu fashion, and body slams them and ends up winning, don't you think? I mean, that's really how it goes. If I were a Democrat strategist right now, Trish, I would advise our candidates and really the Democrats at large to do two things, because we figured out they lose when they do them. One is identity politics, and the second is unfounded attacks on Trump and his administration. And yet, like an old dog who cannot possibly learn new tricks, on they go. Like Reagan said, here they go again.
Well, I brought this up on the show last night because they say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and thinking that you'll get a different outcome. They keep doing the same thing over. I mean, here we are in like Witch Hunt 2.0. I wouldn't be surprised if they try and pull the impeachment card again. They really are replaying the same measure, so to speak, to use a musical term, and yet it's not going to work. I mean, I think if anything, they're digging themselves in deeper. It's really, and I know you're a psychologist by background, it is a fascinating thing to see.
No, I've studied human behavior all my life, and I have to tell you, I have never been so confounded by sociological groupthink as watching the Democrats continue to destroy themselves from within as their party implodes all around them. But this with Stephen Miller is particularly concerning, and it makes you wonder how completely tone deaf they are to attack a Jewish man right now. And by the way, this isn't the first time they've attacked Stephen Miller on this. Remember, they tried this like 3 to 6 months ago, like before the impeachment stuff, and it didn't work then either. It's not going to work now. But isn't it anti-Semitic then to attack Stephen Miller, a Jewish man? Isn't it some sort of bigotry to try this not just once but twice?
That's up for grabs these days, Gina. Look at what Ilhan Omar is saying, or Rashida Tlaib. I mean, hey, when they're embracing Louis Farrakhan, right, or Linda Sarsour as leaders in their party, and they're not denouncing them, then you have a problem within the Democrat Party, and a party that traditionally has had a base, I think, of many Jewish Americans. Jewish Americans have to be looking around saying, wait, this isn't for me anymore.
But they're losing that base, Trish, when we see 23% and upward of the folks who show up at rallies. And remember, it was 23% for a while. That number is actually rising steadily. I think it was at 26% at the last rally for President Trump, the number of Democrats who show up to Trump rallies. If I were Democrats, I'd find that particularly disturbing, not to mention his own popularity continues to increase at rates much higher than past presidents.
Well, it tells you, Gina,
and really setting records at this point.
We are, I think, as a nation above politics. I really think when you talk to your average person, they don't have that groupthink. They just want what's best for themselves, their family, for their neighbors, and for their country. And so that doesn't have to fit inside a box. That can straddle different lines. And this president has reached out actually across the aisle and tackled some issues that maybe Democrats traditionally would have owned, especially like when you think about unions and the trade issue in China. These are things that the Democrats could have embraced, they could have owned, and instead they sold out to big corporations a long time ago. They didn't care about your average man or woman in America, and your average man or woman in America knows that, don't they, Gina?
Yeah, and they are the ones who've always talked about it, talked such a big game, but they've never given the results that this president has given to women, to minorities, even to youth, to prisoners, for crying out loud. This president has reached into that population, and so there's nothing like it. There's no president like this before, certainly not from the Democrats, while they continue to divide, while the country is begging for a uniter, and the president of the United States has become that uniter.
Gina Loudon, it's good to see you. Thank you so much.